Hey guys, I just want to give a bit of a warning before any of you watch the video that this video does contain descriptions of predatory behavior and trauma on young kids, and it's a bit of a darker video. It's got a lot more thematic stuff in it, so if this could be a trigger for you, I would advise not watching and coming back tomorrow where there'll be more lighter content and my usual silly self, I guess. In this video, I'm very proud of it. It's, I guess, a mini documentary on what happened to BCT, and for any BCT people who might potentially watch, if I've said anything that's offensive or not right, please let me know in the comments. I'm trying to be as respectful as I can and just telling the story as is. So I hope you enjoy the video, but please note, it's a bit of a darker one, but I think you will all enjoy it, and it's a very interesting story. So yeah, thanks.
This video is going to be a very sad one. Hey guys, my name is Andre Silfresha, and in today's video, I'm going to be going over the rise and fall of one of the most important children's theater companies in the nation, Boston Children's Theater. Boston Children's Theater was founded in 1951, and its core message was a standalone, non-profit organization that was dedicated to presenting children's theater performed by children in a professional environment. It only had 4 artistic directors, and the last one was Burgess Clark. Burgess Clark became artistic director in October 2008 after a 4-year stint as the director of education and children's programming at North Shore Music Theater in Beverly. He brought alongside with him his partner Daniel Blake, who played the piano, and Toby Shine, who was one of his longtime friends, who also worked at North Shore Music Theater and became the producer of BCT. Burgess offered many new programs, workshops, and musicals, and BCT went through many years of hope, optimism, and kids being exposed to the arts. But the one that was the most controversial, the one that led to BCT's ultimate demise, was the private studio instruction. If you went to Burgess Clark's private advanced acting class, it meant you were going places. The esteemed director handpicked 15 students that he thought were going to make it, that were going to be big. Students who went to Burgess Clark's acting class were excited, elated, and felt like they were on top of the world. And the classes would usually begin with the students sitting in a circle on the floor of a classroom at the Benjamin Franklin Institute of Technology. And when there, they would have to share very intimate, personal stories, and sometimes uncomfortable questions would come up. Many students talked about sexual assault, suicidal thoughts, and many left the room crying. Clark loved emotional risk-taking and would often ask them to send him questions over Facebook Messenger. Such examples are, "What is the root of your eating disorder?" and other things of that nature. And he would often ask students who were between the ages of 14 and 18 about their sex lives. Clark would ask the students if they were virgins or not, and if you'd had sex, if you're comfortable with sex, how does sex affect your art? Once, during a private acting lesson, Burgess, who was with a 15-year-old male at the time, asked the boy about his sexual fantasies and if he touched himself or not. Clark told the students to not tell anyone what was going on in the classes, as they were sharing intimate stories. One session in April of 2011, Burgess encouraged the class to call their other peers inappropriate names or offensive things. This resulted in tensions escalating and many students pushing each other, but Clark didn't intervene. He said it was a way to exercise bullying behaviors, but many students did not see it that way. Many students said that Blake and Clark were very involved in their romantic and sex lives, and one student remembers telling Blake, the pianist and Burgess's husband, if being bisexual was okay, or if it was real, and he said no. "You must be gay," which she took as fact, which later on in life would affect her deeply. Clark would praise students for going to physical risks exercises that would end with teenagers in very intimate positions, some which became sexual. People would be on top of each other, and, well, it was inappropriate and not at all what should be done in a theater company, especially for children. And many students, when reflecting back on these classes, realized that what was going on was not only not right, but was not the norm, and never happened anywhere else but at BCT. Despite Clark's continued inappropriate behavior, BCT continued to thrive and produce top-quality theater for children around the Boston area. Now, in my own experience with BCT, it was a positive one, and whilst I never met Burgess, I did meet one man in particular, and that man was Toby Shine, or Shrine. I'm not really sure how to pronounce his last name, but he seemed like an alright stand-up guy, and he was. He was the executive producer of BCT, and he might have known something about the Burgess allegations, or he might not have. However, he, Daniel, and Burgess all lived together in the same house. So, I think that pretty much gives you the answer to whether or not he knew what was going on or not. Then, we go to 2019, BCT's final year. So, to give a bit of background, Burgess was on a 6-week medical leave in the beginning of the year, and basically everyone was like, okay, it's gonna be normal, he's out, but he's gonna come back. But then he didn't, and in fact, he resigned. Days later, allegations would come out of Burgess being inappropriate with children. Now, it is an interesting fact that Burgess did resign before these allegations came out, mere days before, in fact. Do I think he knew these allegations were coming? Probably, and he wanted to get out before the fire became too much for him to handle. There was panic, confusion, and anger in the BCT community, but the board told them everything was going to be okay. But then a few mere weeks later, Toby Shine, the executive director of BCT, announced his departure from the company, and at this point, everyone pretty much knew that BCT was a done deal. Various articles from the Boston Globe came out detailing what Burgess did and everything that went wrong with those theater classes. And it also led to light the financial situation of Boston Children's Theater, which was very dire. Many former teachers came out and said how BCT would often pay them late or after only many requests were made to get that payment. They said that they would not work with them that frequently because of the payment and how terrible it was. They also canceled their annual production of A Charlie Brown's Christmas, mainly due to the fact that they did not have the funding, the teachers, and they knew they couldn't deliver the quality theater that the children and audiences had been promised for years and years. The company was thousands of dollars in debt. Along with this, many of the staff for BCT left in the ensuing weeks. And now, if you go to their website, the only thing you will see is Snoopy the dog sleeping, with them saying all classes and performances have been canceled until further notice. In the ensuing weeks as well, Burgess and Blake, his partner, were accused of shady behavior at a summer camp they ran in Colorado. Now, while they weren't accused of anything, the owners of the camp did wish they had said something instead of letting them go without a warning. Meanwhile, the BCT show choir decided to put on one last show entitled The Snow Must Go On. The concert's mood was somber but happy most of the time, and whilst I didn't personally attend the concert, I did read the WBUR article in which they basically described what happened in the concert, and some of the kids even gave their opinions on what happened in the ensuing weeks.
It's been a mess, honestly, but I think we've kind of helped each other through it, but I don't think any of us could have done it without each other.
On a personal level, I am very saddened by what has transpired at BCT. For many, it was a home, a place that they could call themselves their own, where they could do what they wanted, where even if you didn't get a role, at least you were part of a community. I do hope that BCT is able to resurrect itself at some point. There are still faint glimmers of civilization left in this barbaric slaughterhouse once known as humanity. And I truly do believe, without a doubt, that BCT was one of those faint glimmers. The last song that was in the Snow Must Go On concert, A Beautiful City, is a beautiful one and almost poetic in a way for this situation. The whole song talks about how something can be destroyed and put to rubble, but it can be rebuilt into something more beautiful. And I think that's what BCT hopefully will do. I hope you enjoyed this mini documentary and now know why BCT closed. And if you're in a position of power, please do not abuse it, as not only are you affecting yourself and the victim, but you're also affecting the hundreds, maybe thousands of people that depend on your organization.
Out of the ruins and rubble, out of the smoke, of struggle, can we see a ray of hope? One pale thin ray, reaching for the day. We can build a beautiful city. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. We can build a beautiful city. Not a city of angels, but we can build a city of man. We may not reach the ending, but we can start slowly but truly mending, brick by brick, heart by heart. Now, maybe now we start learning how we can build a beautiful city. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. We can build a beautiful city. Not a city of angels, but we can build a city of man. When your trust is all but shattered, when your faith is all but killed, you can give up bitter and battered, or you can slowly start to build a beautiful city. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. We can build a beautiful city. Not a city of angels, but finally a city